And like that, we are VR. That's right, right, Jack. We are VR. You know what that means?
Ready Player One.
No, better. We are VR troopers now. I
Oh,
I gotta learn martial arts to defend my father, who got stuck in the virtual world. That's a real show, right?
really?
Yes, it's so VR Troopers was developed by Saban. Now, do you know who Saban is?
The Bond? No.
So Saban, they're the company responsible for a little something. You probably heard of it. A little something called Power Rangers.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot.
So,
That's why it sounded familiar.
and during the mid to late '90s, they had a lot of attempts to try to bring more Japanese tokusatsu or costume themed hero shows like Super Sentai and Kamen Rider into the West, and try to Power Ranger them up. And one of the most infamous ones was VR Troopers, which I
Hmm.
think only lasts one season.
Hmm.
It was a very very poor attempt, and I forget what the original show that that VR Trooper used footage from in the costumes and monsters, but at least for VR Troopers, the premise is the main character's dad disappeared and he turns out he's in the virtual world. So him and his three friends have to become VR Troopers, go into the digital realm in order to find the father who has the key to take down the big villain of the series.
Hmm.
And yeah, barely survived one season, and it's very infamous that even JonTron did a video about it.
No, I haven't seen that much JonTron in a long time. I guess just because it's not been put up in my recommended on the YouTube.
Then he rarely uploads.
That too.
Busy. Speaking of busy, hey Dunklezon, a good day to you, sir, and welcome, folks, to a proper opening. Welcome to episode 111 of the JAC Show. I'm the genuinely moronic and beautiful Hack.
And I am your third-rate tarnished.
You want
Uh,
to you want to
yeah.
reset? You want to reset that?
Yeah. I forgot what was my little Twitter handle. I am I am your third-rate tarnished Jack.
No fourth. Okay, no fourth rate something.
Nah.
Uh,
That's why I'm still maidenless.
yo, you don't even have a maiden yet.
They never really give you a maiden. It's just some girl that's like, "Hey, I'll be your maiden for I'll act like your maiden."
Oh, is that the one that it gave you a hug, debuffs you?
No. That
Uh,
one's just I don't know. I think she just wants a hug.
that's what they all say. First starts off with a hug, then bam, AIDS,
But just like a true woman, every hug will take away a little bit of your
blood,
own vitality.
like vampires.
Yep, like vampires.
Which
Speaking of which, did you
you go first.
see my Twitter? Like
Uh,
what I tweeted?
today,
I think it was more yes and no. It was more like last night.
then probably yeah. I can't say. It's been a long day
So
for me.
weird thing happened in Elden Ring. There's a quest line, or there's a small bit of quest where you go up to a certain place, you meet these group of people, and from there, he's like, okay, now meet the rest of the group, and you meet the sorcerer in that group, and this sorcerer is like, hey, I didn't think you were gonna come to my tower. I was saying it out of sarcasm because he's an asshole to you, and he's like, all right, if you want to be useful to me, take this potion and give it to this one girl, Nefeli. And I'm going to go over there to give it to Nefeli. I went through like a lot of troubles to get it to her. Eventually, I apparently have to talk to her father first, which is the head of the group that of the main story. And funny enough, he's like, "So what? What are you doing with that perverted dolly botherer?" Sibelius. And I'm like, what? What do you
Oh,
mean by that?
oh boy.
He's like, and he says, oh, so you want to give that potion to Nefeli? Well, I won't stop you, but if you hand it to me, we can outsmart him. And I'm thinking to myself, what does he mean by that? So I go online to look up what this whole thing is implying. And I see this one YouTube video. It was very quick and it said, what Savelis wants to do with Nefeli. And he takes the guy pretty much runs around this one part of the map, and in the hidden room that's like off to somewhere in like this just what was it, hole in the wall cave. You see a little bed, and that's it, like a bed and a bunch of other stuff. I was about to I was about to like give this girl like a drug so he would then take her away. I was about like, and that's what I put on my Twitter. Elden Ring, the game where you can accidentally become an accomplice in human trafficking.
Oh, yep, yep. And you know what? I bet you that was written by George R. Martin. That sounds
You
like
know
something
what?
he would write.
Probably, probably.
You dirty, dirty man. But did you do it?
No, I gave it to the father, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna throw this away.
Oh,
You go and tell the sorcerer that you did it. He won't. His head is so far up his ass in arrogance. He won't tell. He won't know the difference." And I go to the sorcerer and I tell him. He's like, "Oh, good for you. Here, and let me teach you some spells."
hey man, you gotta play. You gotta play the game for your favor. Even if that means tricking a make sure a sorcerer uh gets gets what he deserves. Also, hello ghetto. He just says came right in for the misogyny. And Dugazan says, I mean, if you ain't drugging and raping random women you only heard of, can you even call yourself a man? you know,
Yeah.
Dunk was on. He makes some poignant point. Okay. Nice AG joke, Dunk we'll give you a pun coin for later when we turn that to a cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah.
One pun coin will equal 1 peso.
There's gonna be a. Oh ooh.
Exactly.
Get
What?
20 of them and you might get $1.
Boom! Just it'll be like playing a gotcha game. But except getting a fancy PNG file, you instead get nothing.
Oh wait, are you just? Did you accidentally call gotcha games, or at least the what you get NFTs?
I mean, it has the same principle of people putting value into something they cannot physically have.
My God, we had NFTs before NFTs.
It was called gotchas.
It was gotchas.
That's how they tricked you. That's all those wife views and those very shots and that scanty and those scantily clothes. Those were NFTs. Those NFTs before NFTs. Japanese were always ahead of us.
Always.
Always ahead of us. Oh man. But actually, Jack, we actually have
Hmm.
we have a proper theme for tonight, and um that's only because well, number one, it all came to me when first I watched like a 90-minute documentary, um,
Really?
or video essay, whatever those things.
Oh, so that's why you were calling video essays pretentious in Twitter.
I mean, that's just in general, but sometimes the one that's actually good is like, oh look, here's a presenter that don't that does actual research, doesn't try to doesn't try to insert their own opinions unless overtly stated, and is actually an interesting topic. Also, before we go any further, Ghetto says, "You boys see the JoJo? Wait, oh, they're re-releasing All Star Battle. No, actually, let's do that first then. I want to see that trailer. They're
Ooh.
releasing AllStar Battle. Oh, I wonder is it hope. Oh, that'd be nice. Because I don't know if you know this, Jack. First off, do you know what JoJo's AllStar Battle is?
Isn't it that one weird like it's kind of like a 3D fighting game? Like they run around each other and stuff like that.
That's the second one. That's the one I have for PS4. That's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven, which
Oh,
is that 3D arena fighting game.
yeah.
Well, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle is actually came out, but for the PlayStation 3 many years ago at this point, and it's uh it's a little bit more of a traditional 2D fighter, a little bit,
Hmm.
not entirely. It's actually as far as in the past 20, actually, now I think about it, that was probably the not the first, but definitely the for the longest time the only JoJo game the West ever gotten from Japan was actually a Capcom fighting game for the arcades, but it was a very limited release. Well, so many years later, I don't know if the Part 5 PS2 game ever came out to the West, but many years later, around the PS3 generation, um, JoJo was properly then got another Western release after many years, and that was All Star Battle, which, by all intents and purposes, is a game really meant for JoJo fans and no one else.
Ah, I see.
And here it is. JoJo. Oh wow, it was announced 3 hours ago. No wonder. It's actually very, very recent news. Hot news.
Is it the GameStop? I'm not GameStop. GameSpot. Or am I looking at a different video?
Probably, but here I got this one from Bandai Namco themselves.
Okay,
JoJo's
there
Bizarre
it is.
Adventure All Star Battle R.
Announcement trailer. Okay, I have it here.
All right then, let me go ahead full screen and let's watch this. There we go. So we got it for my viewers can see it. Let me read these. Let me read these stuff from Ghetto. It says he has an updated re-release with updated visuals, audio, gameplay tweaks, and 9 more additional characters. Good lord. He also continues. We almost got the Part 5 game, but Prince blocked it.
Dang, Prince, why you gotta block JoJo fans like that?
Well, guess what?
What?
We could still get it. Know why?
Why?
Prince is dead.
Oh, that is true.
Now, maybe his estate might block it, but they might be open to negotiation.
And then he comes back from the dead.
Prince comes back from the dead to stop the re-release of the Part 5 PS2 game. Rex says, hello Rex. He goes, I bought JoJo no Boken for PSX, that's the Capcom game, but never got to play it because an old friend who was a crackhead sold my PSX for crack. If I ever see him again,
Damn.
if I ever see him again, no one will ever see him. And I believe you, Rex. I believe you. But let's watch this trailer. Let's watch this trailer and see. Let me see, because I remember this game coming out, not a lot of buzz about it, but see let me see what they do new with it after all these years. Are you ready, Jack?
I am ready.
All right, play it in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, I'm guessing that's the prison. Oh yeah, that's the prison. I haven't watched part 6 yet. We'll do one day.
ここで決着をつける。ぶっ飛びな。僕は回転の力を身につけたい。図に乗るんじゃねえぞ。無駄無駄無駄無駄。遅いんだよ。脱出する。何の。ほらほらほら。覚悟はいいか。俺はできた。知れ者が。にょ。エコー。シャボン玉だ。今こそここは私が。少しに策がある。オラが守るだ。 行くぞ協力してやるほらどうだリサリサ先生伝われ波紋罰の時間だ流し込むよくも惨殺処刑だチャリオッツああ行くわよ始末させてもらうぞすべて超えてやるそのまま眠りなてめえ全力で打ちかますぞ
Oh, are the rainbow colors? That's nice. 50 playable.
God damn.
Early fall 2022. Awesome. Oh, and it's coming to the Switch as well and Steam. PS4. You know what this means, Jack?
I don't wanna play a fighting game on the Switch though.
Why not? Why not?
It's like the equivalent of playing a fighting game on a 3DS.
Hey, something tells me that's a comment thrown at me. Look, don't
Who
look.
knows?
You can't look. You can't say that if you're the one who can get used to playing fighting games on a keyboard. So don't you even start.
I didn't even get used to it. I adapted to it because
Just I
wanted
adapted to playing on the 3DS and playing the
wa-
old Street
I
Fighter
wanted
games
to
on the
be a good-
Switch.
I wanted to be a good friend and give you the controller.
Any case, it's coming in, and you know what's actually I'm actually excited for what makes you like glad this one's coming back because the Eyes of Heaven, for it's technically multiplayer, but only online. So all the single player stuff, I just could never commit to that single player mode. So it was a game that I occasionally play if I'm in the. But for this one, I can at least play with someone who's next to me, and that for me is enough. Just I get to play it with someone who's next to me. Oh, as a great man once said, yada yada yada. So though, I am excited, and hopefully there's nothing odd with this re-release. Although I'm sure there's gonna be something. It'll be like it's not. It's like it's inferior compared to the original release. Da 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 da. Look what they done to the frame rate. Just something. Someone's gonna complain about something.
I can't wait for someone to mod it.
Oh, they will. Oh, they will. And Rex is JoJo's marine biology. I'll take that class with Professor Cujo.
Oh yeah, that is kind of strange.
Hey, everyone needs a hobby. That goes on says, not sure like the remastered visuals, but it definitely feels JoJo. If I were to guess, they probably use the models from Eyes of Heaven, which, hey, you know they're fine. I don't see, I don't. They're definitely good translations from the manga. They're really from the manga. They definitely don't take too much anime. So, I think they're fine. It also says AllStar Battle only had 41 characters, so I'm assuming the additional characters will be the 9 characters added. Yeah, probably. They literally have the assets. Why not? It also says I'm buying this on PC so I can mod the names back to what they're supposed to be. You know what? Get them? You know what? When you do that, share us that mod because I want it too. Because it's not Echoes Reverb, not Shining Diamond. It's Crazy Diamond.
I mean, it can't be that hard to mod it. Just find the file where it has the names and then just paste them.
Start hacking it. Hacker.
Yes, Hacker Man. I am Hacker Man.
No, you're the hacker from Cyber Chase.
Oh my god, that is a blast from the past. My god.
Voiced by Christopher Lloyd. And with that little dodo bird, they voiced by Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, that is wild.
Those are the 2 characters I really remember. The kids are just kind of there. You know, they do the math or whatever. I just remembered when I eventually learned their names. I'm like, oh, like that's Doc from Back to the Future. Oh, and that's Iago from Aladdin.
Speaking of like PBS shows, did you know that they already finished Arthur?
Yes, I saw that, and I saw people memeing that the last episode.
It's strange to see them older.
Yeah,
At the same time with those weird hair, like
but
weird hair.
I'm glad the aardvark gets to retire.
Even though he's retelling his own story.
Hey man, there's a reason those books were a bestseller in the first place. Although I think the funniest parts I got about it, I saw someone do, was that because Arthur is making a comic, and someone was trying to retelling. So what would Arthur be going through if he tried to get into comics in the modern age?
Ooh.
And it will be like, well, he'll have to go through the indies for like the first 3 years, and then his first big break will be writing a short story. Writing a short story in an anthology collection full of other writers and artists. And if his story's really good, and that book sells really well, he'll get a backup story in something like Aquaman. And if he does really well, then he could do another fill-in story for Detective Comics in between the big stories. So he gets to literally write the filler. He gets to do a filler arc before the main writer comes back. And then if he does really, really well, he then gets to write a prestige character.
Man, that's gonna take some crazy amount of luck right there.
Let's see. Let me look over here to the chat again. Douglas says, playing a fighting game on the Switch is fine, as long as you don't use the Joy-Con. Look, I adapt. And look, I'm not saying Joy-Cons are definitely not the best way to play fighting games, but I adapt because I love the idea that I can play any Street Fighter game on the go. I can play Street Fighter Alpha 2 while waiting at a doctor's office. I don't care if I have to use Joy-Cons. Granted, it makes do it because it's the Joy-Cons and how to assign the heavy buttons to the bumper and trigger. It makes it hard to do the heavy move. But I've been dealing with that ever since playing Street Fighter 2 Turbo SNES edition on the Wii Virtual. I'm used to it. It says, listen, they took some notes from AllStar Battle over Heaven in terms of gameplay. I mean, they kind of have to. Eyes of Heaven's a very different style of game. Not really much you can add there. And howdy, Gemini. Welcome, good sir. Ghetto says the best chains have to be filthy acts at a reasonable price. Oh, that's still a funny name for Dirty D's than Dirt Cheap. It's still funny. Legoson says I couldn't play Mario Party with a Joy-Con, so I'm gonna stick to a real controller. Oh, by the way, one day we gotta stream us playing Mario Party or Mario Kart one day.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of getting a capture card.
Virgo, can we borrow your capture card?
Let me see.
We'll give it back. We're good
Best
for
thing
it.
to ask would be more like, do you know what Virgo's capture card is, anyways?
I believe it's some sort of El Gato cat.
El Gato.
El Gato.
Why do they even call it El Gato?
I don't know.
My shopping list. Because one that I had saved on here is an Elgato external capture card, streams and records in 1080p, 60 frames. I'm never gonna use that because, well, at least the 1080p part, because, well, I mean, Twitch has no. It's not like YouTube where you can be able to change the quality automatically from like 1080 to 720 and like downgrade the quality. In Twitch, they're very selective on who to do that for.
I see.
Which is why I want to get at least affiliate. I get a higher chance of getting those perks.
You got no chance. You got no.
Yeah, unless if I'm partnered.
We gotta boost, as Virgo says. We gotta make Jack a better voice select.
Well, I don't know about partnering because if I do partner, then that means I can't be able to stream on YouTube.
Oh, well,
So really, it's the best thing we can do.
well. You're gonna
Unless if I say it under a different name.
it's
On YouTube, I'm not Jack. I am
Cash.
Zach. I'm Zach.
You're Zach.
The
With
Hack Zach Show.
your final form.
Oh, I
Oh,
added in the Z in there.
see, it's different. Also, Ghetto says only play classics like Street Fighter 3 and King of Fighters 98 on Switch. I couldn't imagine playing something like Fighters on yeah,
Yeah.
or Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, actually, no, maybe that might be most appropriate for Switch. Only problem is it's Mortal Kombat 11, and even then you're getting a massive downgrade in visual fidelity. Like not even to the point where like I could deal. It's like nah, the Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat 11's visuals were meant for HD and does not work well when they're downscale. What I've done though is you know what I like actually what's unique about the Wii era of games or that era was that whatever was the Wii version of the big game, instead of just being the same game but with just graphics, I like the idea that a different team would put on that project and they actually try to give that game a unique look or style to it, like that fits the hardware limitations of the console, but you still get the same type of good gameplay as experience on the major plat at the 360 or PS3 console.
Hmm.
Always like that. Because sometimes, not often, but sometimes you get a game that's gonna look better over the years than what a game that's been running on Unreal 3.
True.
I don't know about you, but those Arkham games don't hold up as too especially well.
Yeah, they they really don't.
Especially those teeth, man. That teeth
uh,
and the texture pop-ins, or
yeah. I'm still needing to play. I still need to finish the first one. Oh, like on stream.
who's gonna remember? It's not like no one's bugging. He's like Batman. Although this actually be an opportunity to play it because new movie, but I believe you're busy with trying to get them made. Oh
Yeah.
well.
Well, uh, it's kind of hard for me to try and not stream Elden Ring,
Oh,
mostly because I enjoy it a lot.
wait, is it difficult for you to stream it or to not stream?
To not stream it.
I see. Good. Yeah, you have that self control. Don't be like Maximilian Dune, in which he literally cannot play a game without streaming. He is so accustomed to it. Is the chemistry in his brain is hardwired, so that if he plays a game, it must be streamed. It's work all day, work all day. Oh man, and I can say that because he admitted, and I'm not making any allegation. He said so himself. And because of that video, I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I don't do so many live streams because I can't, because I don't want to live with that feeling where I can't just play a game and have the itch to go, "You know what, let me stream it. You know what, let me stream it." Everything's got to be streamed. Everything. Some things. Like when I play Devil May Cry and I unknowingly beat the game.
See, that is why I'm slowly trying to like only stream big parts,
Big.
like bosses, like
Big bosses.
the great runes.
Big,
Anything that says, "Hey, this is a great rune," I'm gonna go for that boss and I'm gonna stream it.
big rooms. Frankly, the biggest rooms you ever seen. And the biggest bosses. Okay.
Oh no. We're gonna have Donald Trump. He's the Elden Lord. You know what? You know what?
What? What? What do you got? What do you got? What do you want?
I feel like this game it's gonna be the first game where I'm actually gonna do the new game plus. I'm gonna recreate Donald Trump
Donald
and I'm
Trump.
gonna put him into the game. I'm gonna play as Donald Trump throughout all of Elden Ring.
And you're gonna go to that girl who offers the hug and just tell her, "You are fake news." Wrong. Wrong. Crooked Hillary.
Frankly, this is one I don't want to grab by the pussy.
You know the potion I got from I can't do it. Potion I got from the source. Can't. It's just the way he speaks and his mannerisms. It's very all intricate. Is like harder than it looks. And there's only one person I know who could do a Trump. Even though in terms of pitch he doesn't sound like him, the mannerisms, the style of speaking, he nails it 100%. And I can't do that. I can't. I try though. I try. Also, hello, Ogaji. What's up? What's poppin'? Well, I'll tell you what's poppin'. First, first re-release of a JoJo game coming out later this year. Be on the lookout for that. But more importantly, so Jack, you see the title of this week's episode.
Yeah, I do.
So
it's a quote.
Yes. Do you know where that line's from, though?
Back to the Future?
No.
No?
No.
Then where?
Well, it's I miss not miss. I changed it slightly. The original quote goes, "He's gonna take you back to the past, to the shitty games that suck ass."
Shitty games that suck ass?
Yes.
Wait, what? I don't know this.
He rather have a buffalo make a diarrhea stomach in his diarrhea vomit in his ear. Rather eat a raw asshole than.
You might as well be speaking a spell incantation there because I have no idea.
Okay. So, all right, bye, Rex. Go rest, man. Go rest. All right. So it's not actually be what I'm directly talking about. Thank you, diarrhea dump. Thank you, roadkill skunk. Thank you, Rex. Thank you. So that's not we're actually gonna down it with beer. Thank you. So that's not directly who we're gonna talk about, but is what inspired me to talk about this episode. So, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna say earlier before the JoJo news was that I saw like a 90-minute video essay documentary whatever about a you could say a YouTuber who's been around since literally the early years of this of the website, like 2006, and he's well known as playing a character called the Angry Video Game Nerd. Real life name James Rolfe. That's all about it. Pretty much, someone was going over essentially the current situation with his channel and how not a lot of fans are happy the direction he's going, quality of the videos and so forth. It's not really relevant. But watching that made me, because I actually did, because I did discover AVGN, like I want to say 2009, 8ish. So a few years he's made a bunch of videos, and I followed him ever since. And Ghetto says, "What's that 5-hour video or the 1 hour?" It was 1 hour. It was 1 hour, but and pretty much, Jack, the premise of his show essentially is that he plays these old, like really bad NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Atari games, and even more obscure consoles. It does these reviews, although sometimes it's just like a regular review, or sometimes he does these more comedic skits around these reviews, or sometimes it just goes into weird places. Like at one point, there was an episode where he plays Super Mario Bros. 3, which is now is one of the best Mario games ever made, and it ended up him having to fight Satan. Don't ask. But it's mainly a comedy series. Not really like something if you want to get like actual like review. But it's something I watched for a long time, and despite the fact that he's not, you could say he's past his prime in many aspects, though definitely not. He could still put out a good video or two.
Hmm.
I really he's the type of guy that surprisingly, despite all the things how long his channels existed, the main man himself has never really got into a lot of trouble. Like, you want to know what's like as far as him himself, you know what's the most controversial thing that he ever did that got the internet angry at him?
What?
He got so much heat for saying he wasn't going to watch the Ghostbusters 2016.
That one was with all the girls, right?
Yeah,
Good.
like
Glad.
like he
I'm
literally
glad.
like the video even was titled Ghostbusters 2016. No review, I refuse. He's a massive fan of that franchise, and he did not want to even spend or give that film any of his time or attention. And that literally like got so many people angry at him. He didn't even say like, and he even said in the video, hopefully it turns good, but on principle, I'm not gonna watch it. Well,
I'm
guess
glad.
well, turns out history has proved him right. So like literally, like, and there's other little things about the channel, but they're so like in the know that if I try to explain them to you, it's just gonna it means nothing. So I'm just giving you this kind of basic knowledge about the guy, and so, and only I'm bringing him up, and why I'm making the episode's title in reference to it, because it got me thinking about
Hmm.
us growing up in the games that really affected us. And actually did try to see if maybe we did an episode like this. We maybe probably had a discussion or two, but we never really
Hmm.
delved deep into, I guess, the games that we considered that help us grow. And one of the things that kind of blew my mind when I watched that documentary was to consider this: was that when James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, made his very first video, this was actually 2004. So that's when he actually made the video. Then he kind of uploaded to YouTube a few years later. But 2004, he's made that very first episode. And think about that. And think about this, Jack. In 2004, what would what would be a game or what would be a game console he would have grew up with if he was a young adult, like almost our age in 2004?
The Xbox, if I'm correct, that one. Or
I don't know what he would be. What game console would he grew up with if he
oh,
was
grew
our
up with.
yeah if he was our age, 2004?
Oh, he's like right now in his 20s in 2004.
Exactly.
Mm. I would say like the N60. No, that's that's still a little bit younger. I don't know.
Well, he would
I,
have grew up in the 80s and 90s. That's where you have the Nintendo Entertainment System, the
yeah,
Genesis,
the NES.
Super Nintendo.
I don't know why right now my mind's been like it feels like putty.
Saw that Elden Ring probably.
It's probably that. It's probably that.
So
I think I need to stop playing the game for a bit.
so so that gives you an idea. Is like he's so at that period point in time when he made that very first episode, he was talking about games that he played, let's say 10, 15 years ago. And then I come back to thinking me, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, a lot of time has passed since, when during his time, a game that was 20 years old was Super Mario Brothers. Now, Jack,
Hmm.
if I say what if you start thinking right now, what's a game that's 20 years old? We were so used to the fact of sitting like Super Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog or something like that. But nowadays, a game that's actually 20 years old will be something like Luigi's Mansion, Halo.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
thinking, oh my gosh, we're reaching that point. We're
yeah.
reaching that point where how a lot of the older people who grew up in the 80s and 90s and how they reminisce about their games, we're gonna start reaching that age too very soon, if not already. Reminiscing about the late years of the N64, the GameCube, the GameCube PS2 Xbox era, and the 360 PS3 and Wii era.
I mean, if you kind of think about it, isn't that why some people right now, like nowadays, they call the games when we played from our time, like early 2000s, the golden age of gaming.
Someone said that's during the Atari years, but that's again
But,
that's kind of perspective. But this is
but
the
yeah,
idea.
like that was the thing.
Yeah,
Like that's why we're now slowly we're seeing that nostalgia hit already, where people were saying, "Oh no, games back then were the best,"
ex-
etc.
exactly. And so now, and I think it's gonna be unfortunate because at least for the older people, they're gonna have many ways to play Super Mario Brothers. But
Hmm.
are there gonna be any really good ways to play something like, I don't know, what's a something like Metroid Prime? Don't If you don't have the original game for the Wii re-release, or something like the original Wind Waker, not the HD version.
Yeah, and them GameCubes are getting hard to find now.
Yeah. Or how about you want to play original Halo but not the Master Chief?
Yeah.
So now I'm not trying to be a downer, but it's like we're reaching that era now. Like if this was 2006 7 YouTube, all the gaming content and YouTube videos will be about that era of games, instead of being that what was current.
Hmm.
So that brings kind of the topic of discussing from our past, and we definitely talked about it a few times here and there throughout these all these episodes of the show. Never dedicated a full stream to it. That's what I want to do. This is a little bit more less comedic, but more kind of introspective into essentially the games that made you and the games that
Hmm. Yeah, that
and
seems a pretty good idea.
and of course the chat. Everyone in the chat is welcome along to share the games that help shape the person and interests who you are. Because most of y'all are around our age, if not a little older, a little younger. You guys have an idea of what is, and and because of that, throughout this week, I was just thinking of all the different games I played during my time with the GameCube and the Wii. Just those two. I'm not gonna really go Wii U because there's it's this to me it's still recent, even though the Wii U is like 10 years old now. God dang it! God dang it! Oh my god. Oh, Ghetto has a comment. He says, hell, there's no real way to play a lot of games in the PS1 era. You legally can't buy most of the Marvel vs. Capcom games anymore unless you want to shop for a cabinet, which is true. And even then, that cabinet may or may not be in working condition.
My favorite thing that's like something related to that, where you can't legally get some of these games now. It's that meme where it's the manta ray with Patrick, and they're talking about Nintendo, because remember the Nintendo Wii U store is actually shutting down.
Oh, that's right. In about what, in a year? In a year's time?
Yeah, and with all the legacy games, like all the legacy Game Boy games, and
Yeah.
it's Manta Ray going to Patrick saying, "All right, well, since you don't have the Wii, since the Wii U is shutting down with the legacy content, why don't you put the legacy content in the Nintendo Switch? You have one there." Like, yep, that sounds about right. And since you don't, you really don't like that, and since I'm trying to be a good customer and pay for this legacy content on the Switch, uh, I I'm also not using up any piracy, which you so adamantly hate. Seems logical to me. Then let me buy it. We're not thinking about doing any legacy content on the Nintendo Switch eShop.
Nintendo's weird.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because, and oh, this would be a short tangent because it's not entirely related to what we're talking about. Nintendo's weird in that is that they're always a company looking forward in terms of their games, and which is great because that means
Hmm.
that even if there's a new Mario game, there's always something gonna be very unique to that Mario game, and it's gonna last for the next 10 years. but because of that, they tend to not look back on stuff that they already made unless it's something that's easily marketable and attachable. That's just a business thing. But in terms of just kind of their philosophy, it's weird how it's just a very it's a very contradictory how Nintendo is. How they always want to push innovative design in their games, but in many ways their business practices make them very strict in cases out and very outdated.
I just want to play Paper Mario, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on the Switch. That's all I want to do. Like every time when I try the Dolphin emulator, uh, there's always some kind of game breaking glitch somewhere along the line. When I first played on the Dolphin emulator for the very first time that game, the glitch was at the part where you talk to like the stone the thwomp that does the little game show mini game. This the last time I did it recently the was where it kept me stuck at the train section of the game. I just want to have a working Paper Mario game. That's it. I don't want to play the other ones. I don't care much about those. I just want my Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, not yeah. And same here with F-Zero GX. My time with that game was so short because it was a rental from not Blockbuster, Hollywood Video,
Ah,
and
yes.
that wasn't enough time to really understand how that game worked. Because as a kid, freaking that was like trying to drive a real car, or at least it was that same type of intensity when you first learn how to drive, and because of that, my time was already fleeting with F-Zero GX, and I and I'm with you. It's like Nintendo. You can just re-release this game. You even stated that you have no plans to make another F-Zero. You can literally and you milk the Super Nintendo game for what it's worth. That you don't really milk any other game in the series. Oh no,
Hmm.
wait. Well, recently they re-released F-Zero X for the N64, which is fun. It's fantastic. But it's like but but it's infuriating because F-Zero GX looks so much better. It's a lot more funner and just more intense than F-Zero X. Now the only thing that's probably stopping it from re-release is guess what? Licensing. Because not technically, Nintendo didn't develop that game. You know who did?
Who?
Sega.
Oh.
So we're definitely not gonna see the game in the future. Much like a Star Fox game barely anyone talks about. You ever heard of Star Fox Assault?
Yeah.
You know why that game's probably not gonna be re-released anytime soon?
Why?
Because that game was developed by Bandai. I'm sorry, not Bandai, by Namco before they merged with Bandai.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's the same situation the older gamers have with Super Mario RPG. How that game cannot be re-released because that game was co-developed by at the time SquareSoft, also known as Square Enix, and nowadays. So because of that, and because Square just let's just say it's a complicated relationship between Nintendo and Square, we're not really gonna see re-releases of Super Mario RPG, and that's really
It's so
that really kind of what boils down to. It's either they just simply don't want to because they don't see any immediate profit from it, or there's so much entangled in a bunch of legal licenses and legalese that it's just not worth the effort.
yeah.
Oh, get us.
Amazing how many companies like merged throughout our time.
Let's see. I know Square Enix. They merged. Bandai Namco. Another company merge. Or if anything, or a bunch of companies.
Activision Blizzard.
Oh yeah. Well, not anymore.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
Now they're under Microsoft.
Well, they're still a merged company, but yeah,
Yeah, but now they're parent. But now they answer to Bill Gates.
good. Hopefully, hopefully they can stop making the Bill Cosby suites everywhere in the hotels.
Making the Bill Gates suites.
Oh no, not the Bill Gates suite.
Everything's run by Windows Vista. That's the hell.
No, the Bill Gates suite. That's where you go for divorces.
Ah. But if you want a cheaper alternative, you can go to the Bezos suite too. Gosh, all these tech giants, man, them in divorces. What are the odds? Oh, and Elon Musk too. Oh my god, dang, 3 big like tech CEOs. And they can hold down a tech empire, but they can't hold down a marriage. Insert quote about society. Do with it with it.
We live in a society.
But do we live in the society? That's the real question. Let me read some of the chats here. Ghetto says, PlayStation was great about that kind of thing on PS3. You want to play Parasite Eve? It's on PSN. Want to play God Hand? It's on PSN. Want to play Tekken 3? It's on PSN. Now I don't even think they still do that for PS4/5 outside of a few PS2 PS3 games. And you know why, Ghetto? Because they want you to subscribe to their PlayStation streaming service, PlayStation Now, if you want access to even those classic PS2 or PS1 games. And you can't play them physically or, insert your disc. No. You gotta stream it. Because he all knows you want a game that is, you want to play a 30-year-old game that requires a constant internet connection to play. Right. I wonder why that's games for streaming thing is not as big as everyone wants to make it to be. And Johnny Cage is here, and he says Nintendo has a complicated relationship with everybody. It's true. It's very true. Here's one. Oh, cool. You talking about mergers? So you know what's a merger that no longer exists?
Which one?
Sega Sammy.
Sega Sammy?
Yes, during the 2000s, all the way till maybe the 2010s, Sega was merged with a company called Sammy. I think they were just another tech company in Japan, based in Japan. I don't know if they were another game company, but it was another tech company regardless. And now that was a whole shenanigans. Like literally, I'm sure someone has made some YouTube video about it. But let's just say the Sega Sammy partner merge that was going on what we consider literally Sega's worst years for games. None of the games were selling that big, aside from maybe Sonic, and even then, that wasn't a consistent. Everything they tried to do always failed. They were always losing money, and eventually they just had to escape from the parasite known as Sammy. And after that happened, surprisingly, Sega has been doing better than ever. What are the odds?
What are the odds?
Oh, and there's also oh man, I can keep going. I'm gonna stop because then I'll be talking about SNK, then Atari. I'm gonna stop. Ghetto says, "Oh yeah, Sega did buy Atlas, and now Konami owns Hudson. At least Atlas still gets to kind of do their own thing." The roller coaster that is the SNK ownership. Oh yeah, that's some video game history right. And hey, welcome Spexo. He says, finally get to use the office computer and watch your streams. Please don't get in trouble at work, Spexo. That's all I ask. Don't get in trouble at work. But thank you, though.
Try get Ghetto some office ladies.
Some Malaysian office ladies.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ghetto will be interested in that. Douglas says, they want you to pay continuously for the right to play, because this way you can't just retail it. The other person needs to pay them again instead of the money going to your don't own the game. Yeah, but we're not talking about consumer rights here. So let's go back, because we fell down this rabbit hole way too deep. Let's go back.
I was about to go down a little bit more.
No, because then this is gonna be ending up sounding like Twitter threads on Twitter, and I don't want that.
I think we already had that discussion about the physical copies of games and stuff like that.
If he did, it was probably a while ago. But like I said, another day. Saxo says, no dice. My office is a 2-man operation. Oh, that make you 1 or 2?
He's so good. He is two. He is the.
He's so
employing
good.
him is like employing 2 people.
Legally, he counts as 2 people. Smacks and so. Smack so. Oh, that's there you go. Smack. That's his new lore now. He's a fusion. But tar earrings or fusion dance. Actually, you can decide that one on your lore. Tar earrings or fusion dance. He's number 2. Awesome. All right.
Now you gotta be number 1.
But in order to be number 1, you gotta be number 2. Douglas Zahn says, yeah, big company bad, consumer victim. We all know the joke. Exactly. There's no point of reiterating. So let's still focus on what we're actually talking about. And so then the more positive was just kind of, the memories of the games that we grew up with. And I actually want to start with this. Jack, maybe, I don't know. I actually don't know if you ever done this with your family. Back when it was popular, did your family used to rent a lot of movies when you were young?
No, we didn't have we were the ones that used a lot of VHS tapes, and even then, they were mostly just for me.
I see. Well,
although
although
my brother did rent a lot of video games. That's the closest thing we had to rentals of anything.
Well, I wish rentals was still more of a big thing. I mean, there's none of they're gone. You could literally GameFly still exists, and they're still a pretty good service.
Really, they still exist, man. I forgot about them.
Yeah, they actually did expand it to the point where you can even, if you rent a game you liked it, you can even pay an extra fee.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah, they still exist, and I still like them and use it for many years. That's how I get to play a lot of games that I wouldn't normally pay full price for. Any case, but during that time, obviously I was when my folks would go out to at one point Blockbuster, but then Blockbuster pissed off my dad one too many times, and so we switched to Hollywood Video until they ran out of business. And during that time, I would rent a lot of games, specifically GameCube, and the ones that I can only remember of games renting that stick out to my mind was some Donald Duck game, and I only say some Donald Duck game because I don't remember what it's called, but I do remember a certain scene. I remember renting Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Remember that?
I don't.
and I also remember renting F-Zero GX. Oh, and the Ultimate Muscle fighting game for the GameCube. Those are the ones I primarily remember. There's a few much that I probably did rent. I just never forgot about. Those are the ones that stick out in my mind. Donald Duck one's weird because I don't actually remember anything, but I think I beat the game in one night. And all I remember is my childhood memories coming in, right? All I remember that I think one of the final scenes was Donald escaping this temple, Indiana Jones style, with all these traps, while you're being chased by a floating hand.
I don't even want to think about hands right now because I just had to deal with some hands in Elden Ring.
Gonna catch these hands, huh?
It gave me the heebie-jeebies because it reminded me of the
Oogie boogie.
The hands in Elden Ring remind me of the hands in the master hands and not master hands, all masters. Is that
from Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
I know what we're talking about. That's I remember when that first happened, and I can relay you. It was so my first ever played Ocarina of Time. Of course, wasn't legally. It was on a ROM that my uncle had. He left at our home one day, and it was on a blank CD. I put the CD in the computer, and it had Super Mario 64 and Legend of Ocarina of Time, but not the original. No. Guess what it had? It had the Master Quest version, the one where everything's reversed and it's harder. That's my first experience playing Ocarina of Time. But I did get far enough that I actually made it to the Forest Temple, and I still remember how scared I got when that when those wall hands came down and grabbed me. Because at first I was like, my shadow's kind of getting big. And as soon as I realized it, it snapped me. And I was like, almost got like a heart attack when that happened.
Yeah. Oh, those were creepy.
Here's some of the chat real quick. Spaxel says, we don't have any place to rent games. It's buy or nothing, but it's cheap. 4 PS1 games for $10. Or was it 10 for 1? I forgot. Yeah, though. That's pretty good. It's like going to a flea market. It says, also I played the best Dragon Ball Z game ever made, Ultimate Battle 22. Vaya con Dios with that one. Johnny Cage, Jack is intimidated by long fingers confirmed. Johnny Cage, can I commission artwork of long fingers touching Jack? Or at least do a sketch I could send it to him. Saxa says, but ever since the PS3 comes to town, a lot of game shops close up shop. See, most of all the game shops in my area sold pirated copies. So when the PS3 came out, folks can't make pirate discs out of the PS3, and they went out of business. Which, it kind of sucks. It's understandable, especially during that time when Sony was making their PS3, which by all accounts was technically impressive. Mm-hmm. But man, there's just a lot of things that just either didn't work, wasn't up to. But that first model was still technically impressive. That it was so impressive that newer models of the PS3 literally had to cut features in order to justify re-releasing the console at a smaller price. Like eventually, by the end of it, the PS3 was a shell of its former self.
Dang.
But that's one memory that kind of sticks out in my hand. Donald Duck being chased by a big hand. But all the other ones, I just have vague ideas when we were playing. Especially the Ultimate Muscle one, because I would watch that. I remember watching this show on. Here's another old thing for you, the Fox Box. Remember that?
I don't.
No, it wasn't on cable. It was on regular TV. It was the Fox Box. It was on the WB. No, that was Kids WB. Yeah, what was the Fox Box on? I forget what channel it was. But it was pretty much like Kids WB, where it's a bunch of Saturday morning shows for the kids before the regular programming started. And it was through that. That's how I got introduced to Ninja Turtles, saw Sonic X. That's how I got introduced to One Piece. That very infamous version of One Piece. And Ultimate Muscle, or what's known in Japan as Kinnikuman.
Wait.
Or for those super fans, because I know Smax is gonna say, I know you're gonna say it. I know it's Kinnikuman Jr. and it's the sequel series. I know. Don't you dare. I can feel it, Smacks, on your fingers. I know which one it is.
I can, you just got closer to the mic for that. I know for a fact you just got closer to the mic just to say that. But now I kind of remember. Not really not Foxbox, but I do remember when it changed quickly to 4Kids.
Yes, it did change to 4Kids, and I think it's rare there I stopped watching. I think by that point our family finally got cable, so it was like, yeah, I could watch these poorly dubbed anime shows, or I could watch Ed and Eddie. Yeah.
For me, I was so sad whenever Pokemon left one of those base channels and went to Cartoon Network, because
I think it left Kids WB. Yeah.
I did not have the luxury of having any cable till a good
last year.
Long time. No. I think I was 15, maybe 13 when I got cable.
Oh dang! That's high school. Well, actually, no. Actually, you know what? Actually, would have fit right along when my family got cable too. So I definitely knew the how much of a luxury cable was, because my relatives would have it. When I come home, it was like, well, I have to wait till Saturday mornings to watch any TV that's interesting. Everything else, I fill my time with something else throughout the day.
Man, remember those days? Being able to you just get up on a Saturday morning, go straight to watch some of the some really good cartoons.
and eating
Those were
some
the days.
and eating some sugary cereal. I still remember this, and I don't know why. I still remember this.
Oh man,
Memory. This very benign memory of waking up, eating a bowl of cereal. I don't remember the cereal, and watching an episode of the Batman TV show.
yes, the Batman.
And specifically, it was the Catwoman episode. And for some reason, I think you know
That
what?
was when you sexually awoken.
No, I think it was that at that point. I think I just became enamored with Catwoman, and at that time, my brain didn't realize why.
It was your sexual awakening.
Yeah, but that
I
happened.
literally just said it,
I
and
know,
you said no.
no. That happened when I saw Batman Returns.
Oh, okay.
And so, see, I was like, "Oh, it's Catwoman." I have an idea who this character is, and I just kept watching. But like I said, it wasn't like she was doing anything weird. It was just a very benign memory I have of me eating cereal on a Saturday morning in my grandpa's house and watching.
You know, I gotta watch the Batman again. That one was it was an interesting show.
I do like the fact that they had gave the Joker dreads and do kung fu.
Yeah, that's why I said interesting show.
I do like the design of Mr. Freeze. I do like his actually is cool.
Yeah.
I find it. Riddler is kind of weird, but I think I get it.
I kind of get
Is
it.
anorexia not Marilyn Monroe. What was that guy's name again? Marilyn Manson looking mofo.
Yeah.
Only one I did. I think the only redesign I didn't like was. I think Poison Ivy. I really because I'd rather be Poison Ivy a woman than just like a young girl. But
It was interesting that they made Bruce like very, very like compared to other iterations of Batman, made him a lot younger.
that's true. Yeah, they didn't make him like. Oh, let's read some of the chats here. Let's see. Da, da, da. Johnny Cage says, artists are basically whores. Money is money. I'm game. Nah, I'm not gonna ask it. I'm not gonna commission that. If I'm gonna commission anything for you, Johnny Cage, it will be to what you know best, which is fictional 2D women. Maxwell says, sorry, eat it. Man, chat's good. Hold on, chat's getting a little quick today. There you go. A little quick, not too
a little
quick.
feisty today.
Zach said, sorry, Inanaru Dragon Ball Densetsu. I remember being the story mode on the day we moved into the new home. Oh, that's a nice memory. Ghetto says, in fairness, the dub went for Pokemon. In fairness, the dub went downhill after that. Then after almost a decade of airing at like 6 a.m. and no other time slot, Pokemon went to Disney.
I don't remember that.
Was this during like the Jetix year? I remember Power Rangers going to Disney or Pokemon.
Man, I miss Jetix.
I like Jetix for what it is.
I miss a lot of things now. You're making me sad.
No, don't be sad. Just appreciate that you were there. Saxo says, dude, I remember waking up earlier every weekend, even earlier than I usually do on a school day, just to watch some shows that were on at 6:30 in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Waking up early.
Hey, I'm also that dweeb.
No, you wake up late so you can go to work early.
Yeah, now. You're not gonna say that to a child that's like, yeah, you're gonna wake up early and be a night guard.
you dingus. Like the son says, the crazy part, when I visited the UK in my late teens once, it was the first time I ever encountered programs which broadcasted animated shows all day. I bet you, Douglas, if I could see into your mind, it was like, what? This exists? Why did no one tell me? Why?
I'm staying in UK now. Meanwhile,
oh, Britannia.
A knock on the door, you see a constable just says to a child, Douglas, do you have your TV license? No, well, I'm taking the TV away.
Douglas going, oh, God save the Queen and bless all Cheerios. Just being a stereotypical Englishman. Saxo says, let's see, because somehow they had anime around 6 bloody 30 in the morning. But yeah, it's just similar to us, especially I think during they still do it now, but after Toonami finished and 4 came back, you want to watch anime on regular TV, you pretty much have to watch very late, early mornings at Adult Swim, and it's very jarring when you see like an episode of Cowboy Bebop, and then up next, Baby Looney Tunes,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I witnessed happening was very bizarre. Ghetto says so far that show has the only good Harley outside of Batman the animated series. I never stick with the show that far to see Harley introduced, so I'll take your word. I'll have to take your word for it. That goes on. Back when I grew up, it was all about educational programs. Oh, I get the idea. But Trojan, and you only got animated kids shows for like 2 hours a day. Yeah, it was. It's very similar here in the states. At least when we were younger, before Jack and I had cable, we the only kids entertainment that wasn't Saturday mornings was pretty much on PBS, or the public broadcasting service. And only in the mornings and early afternoons you get to watch some educational kids programming. Some of it is very memorable, a lot of it pretty forgetful. Uh
Oh. Very quick thing just for you and everyone in the chat. All of y'all just reminded me of something. Um, if you ever want to have at least some semblance of that experience, you can actually there's a website online that's called my90stv.com. And it goes back to the 60s too, so you can do my60stv.com. And you can just press a button and it'll give you like a random show that's playing, and you could choose the channel up and down, and it'll switch between different shows.
oh. I'm guessing huh. I I will at least like check it out once just for the novelty. It'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the live chat for people.
But
And
does
I'm
it
gonna
does
give
it
it
have
to
the
you.
static noise?
Let me find out real quick.
Always doing that.
It does.
Yes. Then that's true experience. Sexus says, speaking of, at least their redesign is Bane, Mr. Freeze, and Joker. I don't remember Bane, but I would
I like Bane.
I
That
would
was
disagree
fun.
with Mr. Freeze and Joker. I like those. Ghetto says they made him younger to cash in on Batman Begins. I guess, yeah, whatever. It's whatever. Johnny K says, "You want to know what's better than Joker with dreadlocks? Vampire Joker with dreadlocks." Oh, that's right. I think in that show there was like a little, I don't know what's a special where that version of Batman fought Dracula. Oh,
Probably.
and the last time I saw that was literally at a Ross. It was like in a bin of DVDs at Ross, and I didn't pick it up. Gale says that's why Two Face or Scarecrow are in the show. Oh, because they were using the films. Gale says no, it was so Pokemon came to Disney after Jazz, like 6 years ago.
Damn.
Johnny K says you can also stay up to 3 a.m. and watch Urotsuki Doji. No, I am not gonna watch The Legend of the Overfiend or its sequels. Zaxa says, oh, and sometime during my high school days, oh, I got sneeze. Oh, okay.
Pineapple.
False alarm. Zaxa says, oh, and sometime during my high school days, they had late night anime. I can remember only two. Basculus and that overrated show with the redhead, Shauna something. Shauna na. Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Shauna Lay. Yeah,
I don't know why. I just keep reminding myself of the one girl that was in high school that had the very, very long hair. Her name was like Shauna something.
Wait, in
In
high
our
school?
high school. Yeah.
I don't
She had
remember,
like super long hair.
I don't remember a girl was extreme.
Uh, I saw her more in middle school, but she was around in the high school for a bit, and I don't know. I did see her every now and then
Okay,
walking
yeah.
down the hallways.
Okay, yeah. Then it wouldn't be someone I would recognize.
It wasn't even in our friend group at
Oh,
all. So
it's just a classmate you knew.
yeah,
Ah, I see.
or recognized, not really new.
Ghetto says, before tonight came back, if you wanted to catch anime, you had to watch Censored Dragon Ball Z Kai on Saturday mornings with Blue Popo and changing the halos to glowing balls. That's right. That's right. Yes, right. We can't show Christian symbolism in our Japanese entertainment.
Wait, glowing balls?
Glowing ball.
I don't remember that.
Well, I'm sure someone will share it with you. Ghetto says,
Maybe...
Bane was the Gimp until he became Red Hulk. Lovely. Lovely. Someone was watching Pulp Fiction that day when they're designing Bane then. But I babbled enough. Jack, is there any game experience that or memory that you want to share?
I mean, really, the biggest one was me really enjoying my GameCube. Like, yeah, okay, so funny thing is that I actually played more on the GameCube than on the Xbox. If that doesn't surprise you or surprises you.
It's mildly surprising.
Mildly surprising.
Mildly.
Well, I'll take that. But yeah, I actually played more on the GameCube. Mainly because that was more like... That was kind of like my adopted console, because my brother bought the console for... I think he bought it for Resident Evil 4. I don't know why, but he bought the GameCube for Resident Evil 4. Which then eventually he stopped playing the GameCube and only mainly used the Xbox because he wanted to play Final Fantasy. I think that's when you were able to play it on that.
Oh, probably Final Fantasy 11. Or wait, do you mean 360 or original?
11.
360 or original Xbox?
360.
Okay, then it was 13.
No, 360. He also played 11 on 360.
No, 11. I believe 11's only on PC and PS2.
No. I remember.
Let's fact check him.
Tell me.
No, let's do it right now.
You're not gonna fact check.
I'm gonna fact check.
My brother
was Final Fantasy 11.
All right, fine. I'm going to his room. You know
Let's see. Platforms. It was on PS2, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox 360. Well, would you look at that? He was right. He was right. Oh, in fairness, I thought Final Fantasy 13 was the first Final Fantasy Microsoft ever got. I was not aware it was that 11 was on.
I fucking told you.
Okay,
told you.
Cállate, niño.
I'm putting on my headphones. I told you.
Johnny Cage is
trying to gaslight me.
Johnny Cage is one of you two bitches giving us fake news. Fake news. Oh, you know,
yes.
Jack. You know what? You need to have that as a button for the soundboard. Your fake news.
Fake news.
Yes.
But yeah, my brother was playing mainly on the Xbox 360 with the Final Fantasy 11. So, since I didn't have that many games other than Halo 3 that I played on the Xbox 360, I mainly used the GameCube for myself to play it, like a bunch of different games. And the one big memory I had was, this is the closest I've ever had to rentals, which was I would go to the flea market, and there was one guy with his store there, and he would have a bunch of games there on the walls, and you can pick out whichever you can buy them, or you can get one game you have, and you give that game to him, and he'll let you trade in. He pretty much traded in for whatever game that's on the wall, and that's how I actually played Beautiful Joe.
That's customers.
Yeah, like that's how I played Beautiful Joe, because of that guy.
Now, did you actually beat it?
I was close to. I think after a while I needed to return it because there was a certain time, but I actually stopped very close to the end. It was like at the...
Dang. Then you were
pretty much. I was already going up the tower where you were having to do all the boss battles at once.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but other than that, I would go back to that guy, trade in a game, get a different game, play another one there, and always like that's how I really enjoyed my GameCube. Sadly, I lost my GameCube because my parents decided to think that, hey, since you had a Wii, you don't need your GameCube anymore,
Uh,
and they let me have the Wii without a memory card, without a good chunk of my controllers that I got for the GameCube, and without a good chunk of my GameCube games.
uh,
And you know what? I was only able to play on the Wii.
was it that Naruto? Yeah, it was a Naruto game, right?
It was that fucking Naruto game.
Oh, I love it. The fact that that's your real experience with Naruto. That one game that was your bane of existence, and that's
It was fine. It was fun in like the first few hours. But then, I mean, Johnny Cage sounds like a super villain origin.
Also, just realized the chat's supposed to be on, but I don't see it on the stream. Oh boy, that's lovely.
But yeah, I mean, I love that guy. I loved his little game store. Sadly, it was sad to see the game store suddenly close one day because I was going there excited to try and look for new games, and then all of a sudden it just never opened. I'm like, it broke my heart. I was so sad.
I can believe that. You know, first off, Douglas-san says Final Fantasy and all that shit. Go play real games. Yeah, why don't you play obviously the greatest RPG ever made, Ultima 9? Ain't that right, Douglas-san? Ultima 9? Huh? Huh?
You know,
Yeah, he'll get my
funny thing is
reference. He'll get my reference.
the one MMO that I accidentally played was like, actually I don't think it even was an MMO. No, it was an
Toontown.
MMO. It was an MMO.
Fusion Fall.
It was on the Dreamcast. It was Fantasy Star.
Ooh, Fantasy Star Online.
And you know what's funny?
What's funny?
I don't remember anything I did.
It's okay.
I just remembered that in a certain point I ran somewhere and I accidentally got into a dungeon and played a little bit on it. And then from there, well, it was so weird. The one thing I remember was like my character was talking to an NPC in the middle of a cutscene, and a rappy, that's what they're called. That they're like little birds. A rappy came out of nowhere in front of my character's range, and my character auto attacked it, like freaking backhanded the rappy in the middle of a cutscene, and just like kept looking at the cutscene, like kept looking at the NPC like nothing happened.
Yeah, part of the norm.
Yeah, yeah. Bullying rappies is part of the norm in Phantasy Star.
If you aren't bullying them, are you really playing?
Yeah.
Oh, you reminded me. So when you mentioned how your brother got the is the reason for getting the Xbox, I also remember the reason why my dad got me the GameCube. Because keep in mind at the time, keep in mind at the time he was young, and he still played games. So he saved up money to get himself brand spanking new Xbox to play Shenmue 2 and get a few other games. I think for me, he got me the first a Ninja Turtles game that was based on the 2003 show from Konami. That one, and he also got the 2-in-1 pack for some racing game from Sega, but the more important one, Jet Set Radio Future, which I got to experience. And I kid you not, that game it's still in my heart and all the music. The concept of love. Do you understand, Jack? The concept of love. Oh. Now.
No, I don't. Never did.
Because you didn't have Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, damn.
Your dad wasn't a big fan of Sega. That's why. Any case,
he wasn't a big fan of me having more than one console.
Oh, sure, you got over it. Now, and I still remember why he got me the GameCube. And you want to know the sole reason why he got me the GameCube?
Why?
Because it was cheap.
Hey, I mean, the
which is not a
GameCube is a
bad,
good console though.
which is not a bad reason in hindsight. But just imagine, like, I guess the mindset of a kid that I'm playing the Xbox is literally the brand new big thing, and you're looking at the game store like, wow. And then your dad gets to the GameCube, and he tells you the reason why he got it. He's like, "Oh, it looks fine," and it was literally $100. Which, by the way, thinking back, $100 for a game console. Why didn't the GameCube sell more? Like, I mean, I know why. We all know why it didn't sell more.
I I have a question.
But
Talking about the GameCube made me really want to think about purchasing another GameCube. My question is, why is how is Walmart still selling GameCube?
um, from from what I understand, I believe it has to do with they just have a lot of stuff that never sold over the years, and so they're probably just getting dust in some warehouse.
Says here refurbished Nintendo GameCube game console, jet black controller, AV power cables, $240 for the GameCube.
And that inflation, man.
I mean,
but actually
nah,
reasonable, somewhat reasonable, somewhat.
I think and nowadays it's reasonable just because like eBay sells them for quite a lot more than that. That's for sure.
Exactly. Also, Johnny K says love, but Hack, you taught us that women run from commitment. I I, I never said it was about romantic love. See?
Wait, did you actually say that?
No, I was talking. No, no, no. I was. No, you're right. You're right.
I'm like, damn.
No,
Which Tinder girl hurt you there?
none. It was an IRL girl.
That is also true. That is also true. I can't deny that.
But God dang it, Johnny, you got me good. But it's not always about romantic love, gentlemen. It's sometimes it's platonic love, friendly love, brotherly love, sisterly love. There's a love in general, not always about romantic love. That tells you more about you, Johnny, than about me. Think about that. Think about that when you're going into your next samba. I assume you go to sambas because Lillian and all that jazz. Jack, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to do a joke that Johnny Cage the copia. I'm not denying it. I'm not denying your statement. I'm just saying.
Notice that women run from commitment.
Takuzan says you can love somebody or something as long as you don't expect them to love you back.
Oof.
Oh,
Damn, that hurt.
that feels.
That hit a little bit too close to home for me.
Oh, that feels like what a lot. That feels like what a lot of people. Dang it, Johnny! Johnny Cage just fuck somebody. Oh, oh, man, this is. Oh man, I'm loving this episode already. I'm loving it. Kettle says, "I can't feel nostalgia, not depressed." I mean, it kind of comes with the territory. Think about the past. I mean, eventually it dawns on you all those things you'll either will never get to experience again, or if you do, it just won't feel the same. That's what you gotta appreciate. Appreciate the happy memories. I gotta reinforce. Everyone has different backgrounds. The happy memories of your youth, and it's what I want to focus on, and that's definitely what I want to focus on, because especially with that GameCube. I looking back, it's at the time it wasn't funny, but I still laugh at the fact that my first GameCube got stolen. But what was the weird part?
What?
It was only the console and nothing else. They didn't steal controllers, memory cards, cables. They literally just stole the box. They stole the cube themselves, and there was a game on it. And guess what game that I unfortunately lost?
Pikmin.
No, I don't think I do not believe, keyword believe, Hitman ever came on GameCube, but I would not be surprised if it did. No, actually,
I'm pretty sure it was on GameCube because I remember trailers of it being on the GameCube.
it'd probably be Hitman 2 or Blood Money. Definitely not the first one, because that was on PS1.
Yep, Pikmin was on GameCube.
Which one?
1.
Hitman 1?
No, Pikmin,
Oh,
not Hitman.
oh my god, I thought you said Hitman. I was thinking Agent 47 over here. You're thinking about Captain Olimar. Oh my god.
I don't always think about shooting games.
You don't think about stealth games either.
Oh no, actually, there was one game I really loved whenever I was playing. Whenever I was like with that one my version of a rental shop. I loved it. It was called Rogue Ops. It was on the GameCube.
Oh.
It has the stereotypical blonde agent lady.
Oh, I'm just reading the chat.
Blonde Asian. No, blonde American woman.
Secret agent.
Yeah, she's trying to fight terrorism and cartels and all that stuff. But she has pretty cool gadgets.
That sounds better than the well, at least sounds more playable than the GameCube game I had that involved a cool chick shooting guns. Or in this case, I don't think it was guns, just weird light things from her hands while she danced to a groove. Project. Do you remember something called Project Number 3? Or Project Number? Wait, hold on. No, I got the game. Yeah, Project Number 3. Do you remember something called that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of focused on Smack, so saying I pronounce it Pikman when I said Pikmin.
Hey, look. English is hard. Let's just leave it at that.
I said Pikmin. If you think my southern drawl is saying Pikman, then you have another thing coming.
Great Judas Priest. Johnny K says, you posted that thing where Fox guys say anything? And I did post a screenshot of that relationship with the caption, why? Because it's something I legit experienced, and it was a very learning moment. I'll leave it at that. All right. I don't say it because I'm bitter. I said it because a truth was revealed to me. And besides, obviously, not all women. Not all women. Heck, not all women.
Not all women.
Gal says, I remember it only because you're the only person I know to own that game. Well, guess what? Since Jack doesn't know it, I gotta show him this. Because I can't describe it with words. You gotta see what Project Number 3 is for yourself. So let's just watch. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the gameplay trailer. So Jack and the rest of y'all will get an idea what the heck this game even was. So there we go. Project Number 3. Need the... There we go. There's a trailer. All right. Prepare, Jack, to see the most early 2000s game you've ever seen.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready like the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Now that was the peak of 2000.
That's a mid 2000s games. All right. I shared it with you on the sources, so you have the trailer up on your end. Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
All right, playing the trailer in 3, 2, 1, play.
Dance. Capcom. I should have expected it. I should have expected
so,
them.
did that answer any questions you have about what the game is?
Man, if this just gives me vibes of if if Bayonetta from Bayonetta 2 specifically with that hairstyle, if Bayonetta was just fighting Metal Gears, that's how it would look like.
Yep. Unfortunately, my first time playing the game, I had a very just piss poor controller. So half the time I was struggling with the game itself, and so I left a bad first impression because of that. But now that I have a better game controller, I should honestly try to play it again and see if either it was the controller's fault or if the game in some aspects maybe have not aged too well. Either case, it's at least visually interesting. Let's see. Let me read some of the chat here. I'm sorry. Product number 3, not project number 3. My apologies. Vanquish 0. Not really. Not really, Sex. Not really. Johnny Cage. If she breathes, she's a thought. Hack 2022. Sure, why not? Douglas says, I remember being traumatized when my bus card was stolen. Couldn't imagine losing a game console like that. I know. Happened twice. First my GameCube, then my dad's Xbox. So, yeah, and that's because we live in those neighborhoods. You know what I mean, Jack, right? Those.
Yeah, I used to live in the Edgebrook apartments. I don't remember much.
Oh my god, you nailed it! It was those same apartments.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh god. And that place still that hasn't really improved. I don't think
it still hasn't improved.
Oh boy. Has it gotten worse? Just hasn't improved. Maybe that says something.
I think it looks the same.
Yeah, it actually is pretty much. Saxa says, remember folks, Vanquish is the most base game of all. It has the female US president be a Russian puppet, and San Francisco got nuked for the good of all American. I need to give Vanquish its due time. I played Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. I need to play the other action game at Platinum. I gotta give Vanquish its.
They should have nuked Cali, or like not Cali, LA.
Yeah, I'm not gonna disagree. We'll find another place to get our movie.
Yeah.
So is the desert and that white area the only 2 locations in this game? Yeah, I haven't played far of it, but so far, yeah, kind of. It's a game that's not very heavy on story, I will say. Johnny K says,
did you see the plot line in that trailer? All that plot.
I wouldn't mind growing an acre with her if you catch my drift. Johnny K says, why does she twerk while shooting? Actually, never mind. Why don't all female characters do that?
I like that. I liked whenever she was shooting, there was like a little small hip swivel right there. For no reason, just a little hip swivel.
Saka says, boo! Should have released the game on 3/3/3 on March 3rd, 2003. Hey man, they're probably backed up. Dell says, kind of reminds me of Zone of the Enders in the sense of being a glorified tech demo. Jack, he says, Jack, that's backstory. Her swinging her hips, that's backstory. And honestly, oh man, it probably is. That game probably is a glorified tech demo, because for a game that's all about very loose movement and having control freedom, it has tank controls. So despite the fact that she's moving very agile, she moves like it's a Resident Evil game, just with the camera always facing forward. It's doable. But I can understand if someone play that game nowadays and goes, I don't want to play this again, and I'll be like, I don't blame you. I've only really wanted to play it because I saw that specific trailer so many times on Beautiful Joe. Like, Beautiful Joe had a file where you can watch that trailer, and I saw so many times just going, it looks interesting, but I don't know what this is. And when I finally played it, I still don't know what that is. Saxo says, anyone even remembers Zone of the Enders? Konami sure doesn't. No, they kinda. They released a VR game for it. Yeah, that. That Saxo says. Then again, Konami doesn't even remember their own game franchises unless it has a pachinko. Yeah, well, you know what? Let Konami let Konami fall as they should. Maybe they're gonna change the leadership, and that one Konami will. Until then, we'll play the hundreds of thousands of Castlevania inspired indie games. At least the good ones, the mediocre ones. He wants to delve 10 hours into something. Oh, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Any other memory? Any other memories you can think of,
And
Jack?
you know what? I want to try a pachinko machine.
Like, when we go to Japan, we could do it, and I'll be like having fun in there with all that noise and old people and smoke.
Yeah.
Now you're really a Japanese citizen. Or you can experience it secondhand by playing a Yakuza game.
I don't remember any of them inside the Yakuza game.
Sure
Or at least not in Yakuza 0.
I'm sure there's one in one of them. It'd be weird if there wasn't. Like Gel says, I still like the second one. I had to force him to play the first. I'm a Zone of the Enders. I have not touched a Zone of the Enders game, so no opinion. It says there's pachinko machines in Yakuza 5 or 4, and they've been recently re-released, so you can play them.
Okay, I think I'll look into it, but I'm probably not gonna just buy the game just for pachinko machine. If not, I'll just play Super Mario Sunshine with that one pachinko level. Remember that one?
Actually no, I don't. Actually no.
It was to get a shine, and you couldn't use your flood. You just like launch Mario up a little thing, and it like goes down pegs.
I honestly don't remember, and I don't know about you. I don't know. This might shock you, Jack, but this might shock you, but I'm not very good at games, and that was especially evident when I was a kid.
What?
I know.
Good at games?
I know. I'm sorry to find out this way.
We can't be friends anymore.
I know, and we can't even do the esports tea. You're talking.
We can't be friends anymore.
Oh, as the friendship truly ended? Will Hack ever become a true gamer? Find out next time. Same Hack time, same Jack channel. End the episode. But also, so yeah, I'm okay. For some games are better at than others, but in general, especially when I was younger, let's just say it would take me a while to figure out one thing in the game, and I'm gonna bear this up with this one. So, you remember Star Fox Adventures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was able to play the beginning of the game a lot of times. Number one, no memory card, so I replayed that section for the heck of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I finally got to play as Fox McCloud after the crystal stuff, so at the first time playing as a kid, I still remember this. There's a piece of dialogue that General Pepper tells Fox, and he says, when Fox complains about not being able to use his blaster on Dinosaur Planet, General Pepper responds, why don't you try using your head? And then he laughs. Keep in mind, as a kid, I thought he was being literal. So for the next 30 minutes, I kept trying to figure out, how do I use Fox's head? I legit thought that was a weapon I could use in the game.
Whenever if Hack and I ever play a D&D campaign together, he's gonna be the barbarian. He's gonna be a barbarian. Hack, use your head. Okay, clunk.
Eventually, I figured out that was just this just a phrase, not meant to be taken literal. But that was until very much after the fact, in which I think I don't know what happened to Star Fox Adventures. I think I had a friend at the time well, she had a GameCube as well, and we often trade games with each other. I think one time I probably gave her Star Fox Adventures because I was just kind of tired of it. But it's actually more recent memory because last year I reconnected with her again, and I kid you not, and you feel this is a rare thing nowadays, but when I visit her, say hellos and chat and whatnot, before I left, she goes, "Oh wait, let me get you something," and I kid you not, she goes, "Here, here, this belongs to you," and she gave me back, Jack, my copy. She gave me back. Hold on, oh,
Go ahead.
she gave me back my copy of Super Mario Sunshine after all these years. And you know what's the best part?
What?
I don't even remember giving it to her, but I'm gonna believe her. So now, my gaming collection, as of today, consists of 2 copies of the original Metroid Prime, because flea market. Product number 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Beautiful Joe 2. That's my current
Nice.
GameCube collection.
Nice.
And I've been meaning to grow it over the years, but I think I'm fine with where I am now. I think I've passed the period where I really, because I remember there was a time I really wanted to collect old games. Unfortunately, that desire came about a time in which literally was not old enough to work, and there's no means of me to make money consistently. So by the time I actually was able to do that, that's when comic books came into my life, and so I had no desire to collect old games anymore.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, now I collect old comics, which is, at least compared to old games, a lot cheaper and easier to store.
Now with that attitude.
First off, Johnny K says that's with the whole friend. He said that's a heel turn for the ages. Love that. Zach says, I know the feeling. I played MGS1 as a kid, and that bit about Meryl's frequencies behind the CD case, I equipped the disc I got from President Baker and nothing. In fairness, Maxo, in fairness, I could see that why it'd be confusing and is also supposedly convoluted. I just misinterpreted a common English phrase because I did not hear that phrase in my household. Oh, like try using your head. No one said that to me. So when I heard that, I literally thought General Pepper was being literal. Douglas on says, "Hack is the reason you're not supposed to use sarcasm with young kids." Oh, and then Smack, so not knowing that when they say the back of the CD case, I didn't know they mean the back of the game CD. Oh man. But still, though, it's that type of innocence on that I'm glad to have had, because that's a very unique way to experience and play games through that very innocent lens. And then when you look back at it, you either think to yourself, "Man, how did I not see that?" Or B, "How did my parents let me play that?" Which I think the most I ever got were why did my parents let me play that would have to be Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance.
Ooh.
But I think it's because it's the funniest thing. My parents are definitely where Mortal Kombat is, but I think they just kind of forget how violent it was.
A little violence will do you some good.
Yeah, like
Meanwhile, you playing the game, everyone's turning into giblets.
oh man, but that was one of my earliest fighting games to play. That and one that I would play until the day I literally sold off my GameCube, Soul Calibur 2. The time I put into Soul Calibur 2 just oh man, there was always something to play in that game, and I played the heck out of the game using every character, trying to get all their weapons, weapon master mode, doing all their arcade endings. I'm sure if I play it now, there's some things I probably haven't hold up, but man, I still remember as a kid. Number one, more awakenings, especially with Taki and Ivy, those two leading ladies. I'm going, huh? Is that what I think? And surprisingly enough, surprisingly, even my dad will see me play it. He never tried to like take the game away from me. He just figures I was maybe so focused on the actual fighting, which I was. I was like, yeah, he's not gonna notice those very risque characters. Oh, oh man. But I play that game. I play that game near death. Same thing with Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I think all like any kind of the GameCube. That was that and Mario Kart Double Dash was the go-to games. Anything. Only thing I never.
God damn.
Only thing I never
Mario
experienced.
Double Dash.
I never played any of the Mario Party games on the GameCube. So I missed out on that.
I only played the Mario Party games on the N64.
Ah, so you so you got did you ever play those mini games where it requires you to turn the controller so fast it burn your palms or fingers or whatever?
Yes, and I actually did. Had that happen to me.
Did you s-
I had a huge, like in the middle of my palm. I had like a huge part of my skin rip off,
did you
and my mom, of course, being like, "Ándale, te dije, it's because of the games." Like,
Juegos de Diablo? Oh man. Did it get at least it got better.
but it was, and I remember which mini game it was. You know which one?
Which one?
The freaking tug of war.
Oh.
It is unfair. So unfair.
Oh. Let me see it to the chat real quick. Da, da, da. Peko-san says, I wasn't allowed to play Age of Empires because it was too violent until I was 13. Couldn't imagine my parents even thinking about Mortal Kombat. Two different, yep, it's just how it was. Yellow says, my mom never let me play anything like GTA, mainly because she heard about the hot coffee mod, but she was on board for Mortal Kombat since it was cartoonishly violent. See, that's the kicker. If it's the type of violence that's so over the top, it's okay. If it's realistic, no. Saxo says, I played Mortal Kombat 4 when I was in primary school. Oh, you poor child. You poor child. I'm kidding. I'm pretty sure you had a fun time with it. Ghetto says, I think the first M-rated game I did play was when I borrowed both Suffering games from a friend. First rated game of my own, though, was Devil May Cry 1. Rest is day is history. Saxo says, then again, my cousin let me read Fist of the North Star. I was 5 at the time. It's a shonen. It's a shonen manga story. You're old enough. You're a shonen, technically speaking. You can read it. Ghetto says, my dad did give me a collection of the first 3 GTA games on PS1, and she was mad at him until she actually looked at the game. Oh, the old versions of GTA with the top-down view and everything. Yeah, those are fine. Just play it.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Well, but actually, was it? Memory just came to me. So, yeah, actually, you want to know how? So I remember this, Jack. Do you know how I got to the what led me to get both Soul Calibur 2 and Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance?
What?
So when I was young, I actually did go to a I did enroll in a karate school.
Oh God.
And I don't and actually it was Missy, you know that Fuquay area where that CC's Pizza is?
Hmm.
It's right there on the overpass for Fuquay.
Oh yeah. Didn't it close down that CC's?
No, I think it's still there. I don't think it closed. But
But yeah, I get the general area though.
so in that area, one of the buildings a long time ago used to host a dojo. Now I don't know how legit they were. It probably wasn't a legitimate dojo. It was probably was just there. It was probably just a after school program, but with with karate kicks. But while I was there, one day one of the students, the older students, they someone brought in their Super Nintendo, and that's how I actually got to first experience Super Mario World. Donkey Kong
Mm-hmm.
Country, and Mortal Kombat 2 and 3. Like my first ever exposure to those games was in that dojo. Eventually, um, older more older kids come in and they actually brought in their original Xbox, and that was when I witnessed for the first time Soul Calibur 2 and Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. And it was the Xbox version I remember because on Soul Calibur 2 it had Spawn, and because of that I was like, oh look, it's a GameCube version. And keep in mind, I wasn't big into Zelda, so when I saw Link, I went, "Who's this guy? Where's Spawn?" I was
Oh
probably one of the
yeah.
few people in the world that probably went, why is like why is this fairy boy here? I want my spawn. I want my spawn. Any case, but it was my time at that karate dojo that exposed me to those games, and I convinced my parents to get me them because they were on the GameCube, and I think it was from there, and because the association with that dojo, like that's how I grew enamored with fighting games. Because I literally I got exposed to my first fighting games in a dojo. Funny how things work out.
Who would have thought that a dojo specifically there to teach you about discipline and self-defense brings in fighting games, video
Well,
games in
what,
general?
what was I'm not sure they're allowed to do that, but it was the summertime, and the senseis were like, whatever. They could play it during the off time, and we did. We played the heck out of it. We're literally playing matches at MK2 and 3. If I'm by myself, I would actually play Donkey Kong Country over Super Mario World, but it was still a fun time. Although I barely remember the actual like karate stuff, I just remember the games. Like I said, I don't think there were. They probably weren't a legitimate dojo. If they were, they probably wouldn't allow to bring in games in the first place.
True.
Oh, no, but that's one. Ooh, did you actually ever play? They really got into any sports games during the time?
Uh,
And I'm not talking about like stuff like strikers, like legitimate sports games.
no, I only got like only did the Madden Blitz. I think that was like the arcade-ish one.
Uh, was
Oh
NFL?
wait, no, no, no,
Is it
no. It was
NFL?
midday,
Which one?
midway.
Oh, with the NFL Blitz.
Yes, that's the one.
I always try to play in the arcade, but I could never understand what the heck was going on.
I always love the fact that I could just like steamroll people. Like actually, literally, you would your character, if you time it right, your character can like go through a bunch of go through a big group, and they'll get knocked up, and you'll have like bowling pin sound effects going through. That one
Uh,
was fun for me.
I think I remember seeing that at Chicky, but there was actually only one sports game I ever played, and I still remember to this day. And it was an EA sports game, and it was MVP Baseball 2005. I still remember it because I played the heck out of that game. Because I don't know if you know about this. When I was a kid, I was really into baseball,
Same.
and of course, and I just want you to guess what baseball team I always pick to play.
The Cardinals.
Of course, all the St. Louis Cardinals. How would you? Okay. Oh no, it was obviously the Astros, and I still remember that at least the big players around that time. Craig Biggio, Lance Berkman, Roger Clemens before the controversy.
Craig Biggio. Man,
Biggio.
I love the inflection they do whenever they were announcing him up. And
Uh,
then we have number. I don't remember his number. Is it Craig Biggio?
I actually, I wondered. I wonder how many of our fans, people in the audience are going, like, what the heck are we talking about?
Oh, oh. I
Uh,
the only real sports game though I did play was like Madden on the GameCube. But even then, I didn't know how to play.
The MVP beta one I did, but there was one problem that really prohibited me from getting the full enjoyment out of the game. And want to know what that is?
What?
I didn't have a big enough memory card,
Oof.
so I couldn't play the single player stuff.
The career mode and the roster stuff.
Yep, I couldn't experience that because I only had 50 blocks, which which looking up what that meant was like what 10 megabytes or something.
No, I think it was less.
Oh yeah, how much was a block? How much was 50 blocks back then?
Let's see.
Oh, let's see here. 50 blocks to gigabytes.
Okay, let's see. 50
It
blocks
was
6.25 megabytes.
wow. So not even a full wait. So not even a full megabyte. It would what's so it was like what 100 kilobytes then?
No, it's 6.25 megabytes.
Wait, 6.25 megabytes?
Yep.
What conversion am I using then?
I'm in the nblocks.converter.herouapp.com. It says Nintendo R blocks to megabytes.
It's
like some converter on the
okay
some website.
Dang, 6.2 megabytes. Man, that's all you needed for games back then. 6.2 megabytes. Although
there is like a bunch of people saying different things though.
So I guess we'll never. I guess.
Oh,
wait.
Wait.
Sources say.
I'm on the wiki. Let's see. Oh, where was it? Okay, let's see here. Memory card capacity 512 kilobytes equals 56 blocks. 2 megabytes equals 251 blocks. 8 megabytes is 1019 blocks. 1019 blocks.
So if we have 50 blocks, essentially, that's you're working with literally kilobytes worth of information.
Yep.
Dang. Dang. Wow.
Man, when I was slowly getting into computers, like when I say slowly, I mean very slowly. I just more like actually to be more precise, memory in general. I remembered whenever I was like I had this like little MP3 player and it barely had like a enough room for I don't know 30 songs. I think it was like 100 or it was like 100 to 200 megabytes of memory that you can do. And I was looking up other prices for like from Best Buy and things like, oh yeah, 500 megabytes. That's gonna be like $50, $100 and all that stuff.
Oh my god.
Nowadays,
that's like nothing.
Even then, getting something for 500 megabytes, no one would sell you that because there's nothing that has 500 megabytes only. Nope. It's either it goes from 1 gigabyte, if you can find those, to 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes, and then so forth.
64 gigabytes.
Yeah, you want to have a lot of
music? 128 gigabytes. All the music you can have in this tiny card. Yeah. God dang. Oh, the times they have changed. Also, Factor says, all I know about baseball is Kramer got spat on his head and his head went back to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. There was like 3 references in that comment alone. But yeah, MVP baseball, something I put a lot of time into. And you know what's but you know what I actually like more about it than the game itself? I really like the soundtrack, and I kid you not. That I remember one night I was like I couldn't sleep, and that I was thinking about that game. He's like, you know what? Let me look up the game's playlist. Let me see what the songs they use because I remember really liking these songs. So look them up. I found the songs names. There's a bunch of licensed songs that that was popular at the time. And I go out to the YouTube videos with these songs and look in the comments, and I literally see other people going, "Hey, did anyone else play MVP Baseball 2005?" I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm not alone." there is a small number of people who remember these obscure rock songs, early to mid 2000s rock songs from this shovelware baseball game that somehow find each other on the internet. God. Oh yeah, and luckily the songs do hold up, at least in my opinion. If you dig that early to mid 2000s rock sound, some of them hold up, but
Oh, did you ever play any wrestling game?
I've I have two distinct memories. I remember playing some random SmackDown versus Raw on one of my friend's PS2s, and I remember one time that I played one of the N64 wrestling games at a friend's house before he moved away. But I could not tell you which N64 game it was. N64 game it was. But that's really only my real experience with wrestling games.
Because I remember playing a wrestling game, and man, I think it was on the Xbox 360, or it could have been the GameCube. But either way, the one thing I always remembered from the game, and that was the one that introduced me to the song Headstrong. Remember that song? I think it was by what was the band name?
Headstrong. That sounds familiar.
Yep, that one. That's the one. I had to stop it very, very quickly before copyright on my side.
Who is it by?
It is by
I knew it.
Trap.
Ashley Tisdale, of course.
It was Trapped, but Headstrong.
I'm gonna play a snippet of it. I'm gonna play a snippet of it on the on a YouTube ending. I'm gonna stop after a few seconds. Everyone ready? Go.
Yes,
Okay, now I remember the song. I never knew the title. I never knew it was called Headstrong. But I definitely remember that riff. I remember that riff.
Yeah.
Oh, the edge on that one. But everyone wanted to be Linkin Park.
I mean, yeah, it was so edgy, but it fit the WWE.
Yeah, oh yeah, I can see it fit in wrestling so well.
And oh my god, like it will always play whenever I pulled out a freaking chair.
Hey, everyone in the chat, who is willing to admit that they were big fans of Linkin Park during that era? It's okay. I won't judge.
Oh man, there was one Linkin Park song that no one ever talks about.
Was it for the Transformers movie? Oh, Douglas-on says.
No, let me see.
As you like that, Douglas-on says, it's crazy how much they were able to do with so little information back then. Everything needs to be so pristine and premium nowadays, except the optimization. Yeah, and because of that, you got game files so bloated with so much data and memory that it's almost impossible to. It's almost impossible to really have digital gaming be something worth investing to because you're constantly having to micromanage what games are in your hard drive or not, and then there will come the realization where a point that all those digital games you won't be able to download them anytime soon, like what's going on with the Wii U eShop. So as convenient as digital games are, and physical is something that should not go away. It should be there. It should be there as something for the consumer to have.
It was called The Catalyst. That was the song's name.
Catalyst.
It wasn't that great of a song, but I remembered it.
Yellow says for Trapped, he says they're a one-hit wonder. Says they're more known now for their lead singer having meltdowns on Twitter. Lucas says, I never was a fan of Linkin Park, but my mom and brother, I remember playing it all the time. Brother, I'm not surprised. Your mom, though? Huh. Never knew they reached that audience. Ghetto says, I still am. Oh, wait, Spaxel says he's not a Linkin Park fan. But Ghetto says, I still am out of nostalgia, though my music taste shifted to the band members' individual side projects. As for me, I never got into them. I know they're big hits like everyone else does, but they were never a band I really got deeper into during their prime or after their. And also, I think because unless you got one more story to share, Jack, I think we should call it an end.
No, I think that's it for now.
Another nostalgia trip, but at least with some focused and with some good ribbing here and there. Of course, all this get me. That's my job. I accept it.
That is my job. I accept it.
Because all of you are jealous because you don't title yourself as the genuinely beautiful or the genuinely moronic. So before
I want to be moronic.
So before we do the closing thing, Ghetto says, I know the catalyst ended up as the music for the arcade version of Gundam Extreme Versus.
Hell yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
That is so weird. That is like, if you just look at the lyrics, it's weird thinking about that in Gundam.
So we're now coming to the closing portion of the stream. Jack, do you have anything to announce for our viewers in the?
I mean, it's gonna be I'm gonna be doing my Elden Ring streams here and there, but it's probably gonna be even more sparse, where only big bosses are actually gonna be streamed with some good side contents of it.
And remember,
But
big breaks too. Breaks.
Yeah, at least when it comes to streaming it. But like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing it off screen for a good chunk of it when it comes to like mini bosses and stuff like that. But main story stuff is gonna be streamed. I'm gonna go back to streaming other things like getting back into the Ace Attorney games and maybe play a little bit more of Batman and Yakuza.
Right.
But that'll be it. And of course, as always, the JAC After Hour live streams will be here eventually. They're supposed to be rare, at least now.
They're like a shiny Pokemon. When you come across them, it's be the best thing.
Actually, now, no, not anymore. It's become so
so common.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay, so did you know? Okay, for Legends of Arceus, here's how it was. It was like, I think it's a 1 in 1,000 something chance. Like, okay, that's rare. But then you complete the Pokédex entry for that one Pokemon. That becomes from 1 in 1,000 to pretty much cuts it in half.
Oh, so 1 in 500. Huh.
Yeah. And then if you perfect complete the Pokédex entry, meaning like every little task you finished it, it cuts that in half again.
Okay, what?
Yes. And then if you have a mass outbreak, which is like, pretty much think of it as like, you'll always, in one particular spot, you'll always see like a bunch of one Pokemon at the same time. It cuts it even shorter because you're now having a higher chance of seeing of that Pokemon in general.
So that's that's 125.
Yeah, more or less.
Wow, huh? Was that? And they didn't do that in the other games, did they? Pretty much. That was their the shinies were that percentage of how they'll come up and it stuff like that throughout the entire game.
And some of the more recent Pokemons, from what I heard from my friends, they're very easy still to get. Like it shortens like some chances somehow. I don't know how, but
well, I guess
yeah, they're easier compared to
the older
when
games.
when like original Ruby, Sapphire, and all that stuff.
I see. Well, what are you gonna do? As for my announcement. So, I did number one. I did do. I made some progress for my next comic review. Halfway done with recordings. Got to finish the other half, and straight to editing. And I did make some progress on the mixtape. We haven't forgotten, because I still wasn't satisfied for the longest time, and now I got something I could really amp it up. So, and then hopefully I'll spend more time with it, and once that's done, send to Jack, and he could use his lovely pipes to rap over this amazing, spectacular, ultimate Besso and the Dandy experience. Which is what it will be. It will be an experience. If you deny that experience, then you deny your existence. That's how it goes.
Actually, we can't call it the Pestle and the Dandy experience because that's a different band entirely.
You're right.
Remember, we have different bands. We have the Pestle and the Dandy rap group.
The best of the
I think you called it the Hack experience or something like that.
No, I think it was Best of the Danny experience. I don't think I called it the Hack experience.
Oh yeah, Best of the Dandy experience. That was a different one.
Yeah, that's a super group. That's a super group.
We gotta keep.
That's where we have more members. It essentially become like one of those big idol groups.
Yeah, we need to put these in like little notepad or little mini world of
the JAC Show. Our lore, you could say. Which, by the way, Specs, you still haven't answered that question. I don't know. What's your fusion, man? Come on. You didn't answer it. In any case, that will be, and so yeah. So some progress has been made, and during this little time I have before I start my new job, because tomorrow's the last day, I can finally get rid of being at that auto parts store. And tomorrow's, just hoping tomorrow goes by fast and quick, so I can be like, and I'm out of here. Hopefully.
Or you can always do that thing where what I did in Panera, where I just like relax to the point where I'm like, what are you gonna do? Fire me?
On my last day.
Fire me.
Yeah, let's just set it on fire.
It's just like, fire me. I dare you. Then you're gonna have to pay unemployment for me.
And yeah, Jack burning down the house. Wait, Gil says, no, do the thing from How High. I've never seen that movie, so I don't know what you're referring to, Gil. Oh, any case, hopefully this weekend I have some spare time to work on that, to work on those two things, and so we get some progress going on our YouTube, because thanks to that, my job, that's really the sole reason why my output has been very low lately. And this new job, hopefully my output can start being more not convenient, consistent. There's always something to expect from me aside from just live stream. Which, by the way, chill stream. Still debating whether I'm gonna do a chill stream or not. We'll find out once the day comes. There's no high emergency to do one of those. But in any case, thank you very much for tuning in on episode 111 of the JAC Show. Hope you guys enjoy the stream. You had a wonderful, good time, and I also want to add this new thing that, remember, we're not a podcast. We're all right.
Yeah, the experience.
All right, you can't get what we bring anywhere else. All right, we bring in just that right niche of games and comics, of which we're even niche in those areas altogether. We're the nichiest of the niche. So with that, hope you had a good time. Thank you for coming in, and this is Hack and Jack. Sign out.
Goodbye, everyone.